The Ise Grand Shrine, located in the city of Ise, Mie Prefecture of Japan, is a Shinto shrine dedicated to the sun goddess Amaterasu, officially known simply as Jingū. Ise Jingū is a shrine complex composed of a large number of Shinto shrines centered on two main shrines, Naikū and Gekū. The inner shrine, Naikū, is located in the town of Uji-tachi, south of central Ise, and is dedicated to the worship of Amaterasu, where she is believed to dwell. The shrine buildings are made of solid cypress wood and uses no nails but instead joined wood. The outer shrine, Gekū, is located about 6 kilometers from Naikū and dedicated to Toyoki Omakami, the god of agriculture, rice harvest and industry. Besides Naikū and Gekū, there are an additional 123 Shinto shrines in Ise City and the surrounding areas, 91 of them connected to Naikū and 32 to Gekū, purportedly the home of the sacred mirror. The shrine is one of Shinto's holiest and most important sites. Access to both sites is strictly limited, with the common public are not allowed beyond sight of the thatched roofs of the central structures, hidden behind 4 tall wooden fences. However, tourists are free to roam the forest, including its ornamental walkways. During the Edo period, it is estimated that about 10 Japanese conducted an okage pilgrimage to the shrine. Accordingly, pilgrimage to the shrine flourished in both commercial and religious frequency. Because the shrine is considered sanctuary, no security checkpoints were conducted, as it was considered sacrilege by the faithful. The two main shrines of Ise are joined by a pilgrimage road that passes through the old entertainment district of Furuichi. The chief priest or priestess of Ise Shrine must come from the Imperial House of Japan and is responsible for watching over the shrine. The current high priestess of the shrine is Atsuko Ikeda, assisted by former Imperial Princess Sayako Kuroda. Establishment of the shrine. According to the Nippon Shoki, around 2,000 years ago the divine Yamato Hime no Makoto, daughter of the Emperor Suinin, set out from Mount Milwa in modern Nara Prefecture in search of a permanent location to worship the goddess Amaterasu. Wandering for 20 years through the regions of Oma and Mino, her search eventually brought her to Ise, in modern Mie Prefecture, where she is said to have established Naikū after hearing the voice of Amaterasu saying, "Is a secluded and pleasant land. In this land I wish to dwell." Before Yamato Hime no Makoto's journey, Amaterasu had been worshipped at the imperial residence in Yamato, then briefly at Kusanui in the eastern Nara Basin. When Princess Yamato Hime no Makoto arrived at the village of Uji-tachi, she set up 50 bells to designate the area as an shrine for the goddess Amaterasu, which is why the river is called the Azuzu, or 50 bells. Besides the traditional establishment date of 04 BCE, other dates of the 3rd and 5th centuries have been put forward for the establishment of Naikū and Gekū respectively. The first shrine building at Naikū was erected by Emperor Tenmu, with the first ceremonial rebuilding being carried out by his wife, Empress Jito, in 692. The shrine was foremost among a group of shrines which became objects of imperial patronage in the early Heian period. In 965, Emperor Murakami ordered imperial messengers to be sent to report important events to the guardian kami of Japan. These ihaku were initially presented to 16 shrines including the Ise Shrine. Chief priestess, chief priest. For the late 7th century until the 14th century, the role of chief priestess of Ise Shrine was carried out by a female member of the Imperial House of Japan known as a sayo. According to the Manyoshu, the first sayo to serve at the shrine was Princess Oku's, daughter of Emperor Tenmu, during the Asuka period. Mention of Ise Shrine sayo is also made in the Awa, Sakaki and Yugao chapters of the Tale of Genji, as well as in the 69th chapter of the Tales of Ise. The Syo system ended during the turmoil of the Nanbokucho period. During the Empire of Japan and the establishment of state Shinto, the position of chief priest of the Ise Shrine was fulfilled by the reigning emperor, and the Meiji, Taisho and Showa emperors all played the role of chief priest during the reigns. Since the disestablishment of state Shinto during the occupation of Japan, the offices of chief priest and most sacred priestess have been held by former members of the imperial family of the descendants. The current chief priest of the shrine is Taketsuka-sa Naotake, adoptive son of Kazuko Taketsuka-sa. He succeeded Kitashirakawa Michihisa, a great-grandson of the Meiji Emperor, in 2007. Kitashirakawa Michihisa succeeded his cousin Kuni Kuniaki, the eldest son of former Prince Kuniasa Akira, in 2001. Kitashirakawa's grandmother, Kitashirakawa Fusako, the seventh daughter of the Meiji Emperor, served as most sacred priestess of the Ise Shrine from 1947 until her death in 1974. She was succeeded in that post by Kazuko Taketsuka-sa, third daughter of the Showa Emperor, who held the post until ill health forced her retirement in 1988. Kazuko Taketsuka-sa was succeeded by her younger sister, Atsuko Ikeda. In 2012, Ikeda was joined by her niece Ayako Kuroda, sole daughter of reigning Emperor Akihito, to serve as a high priestess under her shrine architecture. The architectural style of the Ise Shrine is known as Shin-mezukuri, characterized by extreme simplicity and antiquity. Its basic principles date back to the Kofun period. The shrine buildings use a special variant of this style called Uetsu Shin-mezukuri, which may not be used in the construction of any other shrine. The old shrines are dismantled and new ones built on an adjacent site to exacting specifications every 20 years at exorbitant expense, so that the buildings will be forever new and forever ancient and original. The present buildings, dating from 2013, are the 62nd iteration to date and are scheduled for rebuilding in 2033. The shrine at Naikū is constructed of Japanese cypress, built on pillars set directly in the ground. The shrine building measures 10.9 by 5.5 meters and includes a raised floor, verandas all the way around the building and a staircase leading to a single central doorway. The roof is made of thatched reed with 10 billets located on the ridge of the roof, the barge boards of which project beyond the roof to form the distinctive forked finials at the ends of the ridge. The roof ridge is supported by two freestanding columns called the Munemochi Bashira. The Katsuogi, Chiji and Munemochi Bashira are stylized forms of older storehouse building techniques that predate the introduction of Buddhist architecture in Japan. The empty site beside the shrine building, the site where the previous shrine once stood and where the next will be built, is called the Kodanchi. This area is strewn with large white pebbles and is left totally empty apart from the oya, a small wooden hut containing a wooden pole a little over 2 meters in height called the Shinnomifashira. When a new shrine is built, it is built around the sacred central pole before the removal of the oya, so that the central pole is never seen. The central pole of the old shrine will then have a new oya erected so that the Shinnomifashira also remains unseen. The erection of a single post in the center of a sacred area strewn with stones represents the form taken by Japanese places of worship in very ancient times. The Shinnomifashira would thus be the survival of a symbolism from a very primitive symbolism to the present day. Rebuilding the shrine. The shrine buildings at Naikū and Gekū, as well as the Uji Bridge, are rebuilt every 20 years as a part of the Shinto belief of the death and renewal of nature and the impermanence of all things, and is a way of passing building techniques from one generation to the next. The 20-year renewal process is called the Sengu. In August, in a long-standing tradition, the people who live in Ise are allowed to enter the area around the inner sanctum of the Naikū as well as the Gekū. Some villages drag a wooden carriage laden with white stones up the Isuzu River onto the grounds of the Naikū. Each participant gets 2 white stones in a white handkerchief, and these allow them to place the stones in the area around the inner sanctum. Other villages drag a huge wooden karanobori kuruma laden with white stones to the Uji Bridge at the entrance of the grounds of the Naikū. Participants receive 2 white stones which are also placed in the sacred space around the inner sanctum. The entire tradition is called shiraseki, and it is very colorful, with every participant wearing a happy coat representing a particular village. The rebuilding of the main shrine takes place on an adjacent site next to the old, and each rebuilding alternates between the 2 sites. The next scheduled rebuilding of Naikū is due in 2033 on the lower northern site. In the lead-up to the rebuilding of the shrines, a number of festivals are held to mark special events. The Okihiki Festival is held in the spring over 2 consecutive years and involves people from surrounding towns dragging huge wooden logs through the streets of Ise to Naikū and Gekū. In the lead-up to the 2013 rebuilding, the Okihiki Festival was held in 2006 and 2007. A year after the completion of the Okihiki Festival, carpenters begin preparing the wood for its eventual use in the shrine. Annual festivals. For the late 7th century, when the festivals and offerings of Ise Shrine became more formalized, a number of annual events have been performed at both Naikū and Gekū. The Sukaname-sai, which was held in June and December, as well as the Kaname-sai festival in September, were the only 3 offerings performed by the Sayo, an imperial princess who served as high priestess of the shrine until the 14th century. These offerings are based on the cycle of the agricultural year and are still performed today. The first important ceremony of the modern calendar year is the Kaname-sai, where prayers are offered for a bountiful harvest. Kaname-sai, where prayers for fair weather and sufficient rains are made, is held twice a year in May and August at both Naikū and Gekū. The most important annual festival held at Ise Shrine is the Kaname-sai Festival, held in October each year. This ritual makes offerings of the first harvest of crops for the season to Amaterasu. An imperial envoy carries the offering of rice harvested by the emperor himself to Ise, as well as 5-colored silk cloth and other materials, called hihaku. Besides the agricultural ceremonies already mentioned, ceremonies and festivals are held throughout the year at both Naikū and Gekū to celebrate things such as the New Year, the foundation of Japan, the past emperors, purification rituals for priests and court musicians, good sake fermentation, and the emperor's birthday. There are also daily food offerings to the shrine kami held both in the mornings and evenings. Naikū is the inner shrine. The official name of the main shrine of Naikū is Ise Jingū and is the place of worship of the goddess Amaterasu. The grounds of Naikū contain a number of structures, including the following. The Uji Bridge. This 100-meter wooden bridge, built in a traditional Japanese style, stretches across the Isuzu River at the entrance of Naikū. Like the shrine buildings of Naikū, it is rebuilt every 20 years as a part of the Shikan and Sengu ceremony. On crossing the bridge, the path turns to the right along the banks of the Isuzu River and passes through large landscaped gardens. Temizusha. After crossing a short, wide bridge, pilgrims to the shrine encounter the Temizusha, a small, roofed structure containing a pool of water for use in ritual purification. Visitors are encouraged to wash the hands and rinse the mouths at Temizusha as a symbolic act to clean the mind and body of impurity. The first of two large torii gates stands just beyond the Temizusha, Seikan and Anzaisho. After passing the first large torii gate, the purification hall, and the hall for visitors from the imperial household is located to the left. The Seikan is used by shrine priests to purify themselves before performing ceremonies at the shrine. They are required to spend 1 or 2 nights to free the minds of worldly issues, partaking in baths and eating meals cooked with the sacred fire. Kaguraden. This hall for special prayer, located just after the second large torii gate, is open to the public for the offering of individual prayers to the kami, the giving of donations and the purchase of special talisman of protection, amulets and hanging scrolls of Amaterasu-Officially. Amibayard. This hall contains the sacred fire used to cook all of the food offerings to the kami of Ise Shrine. Rice and other offerings cooked on the sacred fire are stored in a box made of Japanese cypress, then purified at the Hararedo immediately in front of the Amibayard before being offered to the kami. Ise Jingū. The main shrine. The pilgrimage path then approaches the main shrine of Naikū by a set of large stone steps. Visitors are supposed to keep to the sides of the path as the middle is set aside for the goddess Amaterasu. Etiquette is the same as for most Shinto shrines. Though the actual shrine is hidden behind a large fence, pilgrims can approach the gate to offer the prayers. Photographs in this area are prohibited and this restriction is strictly policed. Ise Jingū is said to hold the sacred mirror, one of 3 imperial regalia of Japan said to have been given to the first emperor by the gods. From a path that follows the line of the outer wall, the distinctive roof of the shrine building can be seen through the trees. In front of the walled shrine compound can be seen an open area which was the location of the rebuilding of the shrine in 2013. Shrines and facilities. Shrines. There are 125 shrines within Ise Shrine.